Hi everyone, how are you? Thank you very much for watching this video. In this video, what I would like to focus on is a common mistake that I've kind of observed when students are calculating the product of a multiplication problem which involves decimal numbers. Okay, so I would like to show what that mistake is. Okay. And my hope is that students will be aware of that common mistake so that they won't make those mistakes, okay, or that mistake. All right, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you three equations, okay, of different operations which involves decimal numbers. Okay, so here we go. Here's one, here's another one, and here's another one. So this one here obviously is an addition problem. This one here is subtraction, and this one here is multiplication. Okay, so three different types of equations, but they all involve decimal numbers. Now, your first challenge is I want you to study and look carefully at these equations and find the one with a mistake. Okay? So, what I might suggest you to do is to pause the video here and then, take a look at these three equations, and maybe once you found the one with the mistake, then continue watching the video. Okay? Alright, so, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at each of these. Okay, this one here, it looks to be correct. Okay, and it is. How about the subtraction one? Okay, if you follow the process, it looks like the process is correct. So, this equation here is correct as well. Now, if you study this multiplication problem, and you study the process very carefully, I think you realize that there is one mistake in it. Okay, so this one was the correct answer. The multiplication equation was the one with an error, with a mistake. So, what I want to do next is actually talk about what the mistake is. Okay, so this is the same multiplication equation as the one which was on the previous screen. Okay, and if you actually try to follow the process, everything seems to be pretty correct until the very, very last part here. Okay, until there, the process seems to be correct. Okay, now, what about this final part is wrong? Well, it's this small thing here. Okay, the numbers are actually all correct as well. Okay, but it's that decimal point which is not in the correct position, in the correct place. Therefore, in the math world, right, even if the decimal point, or even if the numbers are all correct, but if you put the decimal point in the wrong place, well, that's a huge mistake, right? That's a big difference. Okay, so why did and sorry, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, this type of mistake was a common mistake that I've observed students make, okay, during Unit 4, and that's basically why I decided to make this video. But anyways, it seemed like the reason a lot of students put that decimal point there was because just like when we do addition or subtraction, which involves decimal numbers, I realized that a lot of students were trying to line the decimal point or points. They were trying to line them up. Okay, so the position of the decimal point in the answer was, lined up with the position in the actual number sentence. Now, do we have to do that when it's a multiplication question? Well, the answer is no, we don't. Okay, no, we don't. And what I'm going to show you now is kind of another way to go about solving multiplication problems which involves decimal numbers. And hopefully by kind of going through that way, you will realize why you don't need to line up the decimal point for the product when we are solving a multiplication problem which involves decimal numbers. Okay, so as we've discussed in class, okay, one way we could go about solving this original question, 4.5 times 0.9, might be to try and get rid of the decimal points, okay, to make it disappear, make it go away, so that we change the decimal numbers into whole numbers, which I think more people are comfortable with. So how do we do that? Well, let's take a look at the multiplicand first. So the multiplicand here is 4.5. Well, what can we do to this number 4.5 to change it into a whole number? Well, we could multiply it by 10, because then the decimal point moves one place to the right, changing the number to 45. Okay, well, could we do something similar to the multiplier? Sure we can, right? We can multiply the multiplier, which is 0.9, by 10 as well, changing the number to a whole number, which is 9. Then we just basically multiply the two numbers, so go through the steps. Okay, so we do 5 times 9 first, right? Or we could do 5 times 9 first, which would be 45. So we write the 5 there in the ones place, and then we write the 4 in the tens. Okay, then we think about 4 times 9. Or, to be more correct, it's 40 times 9, right? Because that 4 is in the tens place. Well, 40 times 9 is 360. So we write the 6 in the tens place and 3 in the hundreds. Then what we do is, as you all know, we add the different digits, okay, or we add the numbers in each place. So 5 stays the same, okay, but for the tens place we got 40 and 60, so add those two, we get, well, 0 tens and 1 hundreds. 100 plus 300 is 400. So we get 405. So 45 times 9, the product is 405. Now, well, 45 times 9 wasn't really the original question we were trying to solve, right? Remember, the original question was 4.5 times 0.9. Okay? Now, when we changed, okay, 4.5 times 0.9 to a whole number so that it's easier for us to do the math, okay, let's, kind of go back. We multiplied each of the multiplicand and the multiplier by 10, right? Okay, and then by doing that, we changed the multiplicand and the multiplier to whole numbers, and then we did the math, and then we reached to the product 405. Well, if our main goal, our ultimate goal is to calculate 4.5 times 0.9, what we could do is consider this two tens that we multiplied to each of, not each of, but the two tens we multiplied to the multiplicand and the multiplier, and we could divide this product here by 100. Why 100? Because 10 times 10 is 100, right? So we multiplied 100 to this number sentence to change to that number sentence. So we could then divide this product, 405, by 100, and then it should match with the answer. That should be the product for this number sentence here. Well, what's 405 divided by 100? Well, like we discussed about and looked into it in Unit 1, when we divide something by 100, the decimal point moves 2 places to the left, right? So the answer is 4.05. And that should be the answer to this original number sentence, 4.5 times 0.9. Now, just so I can prove that 4.05 is the correct answer, I'm just going to use this calculator and show you that 4.05 is the correct answer. Okay? So I'm going to push in 4.5 times 0.9. Okay? And the answer is 4.05. So, this is the correct answer, right? Ta-da! Alright. Now, so hopefully now I was able to basically show you and prove to you that when you line up the decimal point in the product of a multiplication problem which involves decimal numbers, okay, that may not be the correct answer. Okay, therefore, I guess the message here is we don't need to line up the decimal point in the product when you are solving a multiplication problem which involves decimal numbers. Okay, now I want to kind of focus again on this part here and just talk about another slightly different way which you can go about to reach the correct answer or the correct product. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this red circle here. Okay, so 4.5 times 0.9. Okay, you could in your head just kind of make the decimal point disappear, okay, or you can just kind of ignore it in your head and then try to do the math. Okay, so when you're actually ignoring the decimal points in the number sentence, right, you are, I guess unconsciously, without really thinking about it seriously, you did multiply the multiplicand and the multiplier by 10, right? And that's basically why you can make it disappear. And then when you do the math, okay, you actually should reach these numbers here. And if you compare these numbers here and these numbers here, it's the same thing. Okay? And then when you add up the different numbers in each place, when you just look at the numbers, so here you have 405. It's actually the same over here, 405. Yep. Okay. So that's another way you could try and solve this multiplication problem. Just simply ignore the decimal point, maybe in your head, and then just do the math as if the multiplicand and the multiplier are both whole numbers. But then in the end, you do have to realize that there are 1, 2, total of 2 numbers on the right of the decimal points in the number sentence, right? There are a total of 2 numbers on the right of the decimal points in the number sentence. Then what you do with this answer we have, okay, which in this case it's 405, right? Because we have ignored the decimal point so far. Okay? Now what we do is we, from here, because that's where the decimal point is for the number 405, right? We don't write it, we don't really think about it, but that's where it actually exists. So from that point, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay, so there. Why? Because now we have 2 numbers on the right of the decimal point in the final product, and that number matches with the number of the number of numbers on the right of the decimal point in the original number sentence. Okay, so those numbers should match. Now we have a product 4.05 which matches with this product here, so that is also the correct product. That's another way you can go about calculating or multiplying decimal numbers. Okay, so I hope that in this video you were able to realize and see one common mistake that students made, okay, when they multiply decimal numbers. And I hope that now you realize, I guess now you're aware of how not to make those mistakes. Okay? Well, thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have any questions, please, as I always say, please come and talk to your teachers, and we'll be more than happy to follow things up together. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.